So, after doing the Sailor Moon story not too like yesterday, as of this recording, I mean, I was kind of thinking, wouldn't it be fun if I did another Sailor Moon story just for shits and giggles? Just because, like, I haven't done it, I've never done it before, or haven't done a lot of Sailor Moon videos. So I was like, you know what? Let's do something just as fun. And that is, as you can see right here, this is the Sailor Strike Force. So Sailor Strike Force is kind of like a Thunderbolt story, and I'll explain that in a bit. So this story basically takes place in like a shared fanfiction, shared crossover universe, and what has happened is that Dr. Director has, from Kim Possible from Global Justice Network, has contacted Sailor Moon directly, and she's like, "Hey, I want to meet you. I would like for you to come alone. If you want to bring the rest of the Sailor Senshi, that's totally fine. They can come too, but I want to meet you directly." So Usagi's like, "Okay, that's weird. I will go meet them in person." So Sailor Moon goes to meet with Dr. Director, and Dr. Director is like, "I'm glad you could make it. Here's the thing. We've been kind of working on a new project, and we think you're the right person to..." Sorry about the autofocus. We think you're the right person to lead this, for this project. And Usagi's like, "Cool. What's the project?" And they're like, "Well, here's the thing. We've been rounding up a lot of villains lately. We've been capturing a lot of villains, but we've kind of noticed that maybe we're kind of studying a new theory, and the new theory is maybe there's a way to rehabilitate these villains and make them useful to us." And Usagi's like, "I don't follow." And she's like, we want to make a team of supervillains and help them be rehabilitated while also doing missions for us. Like, help them, be heroes, but also, help, it's a win-win situation. Help them get rehabilitated rather than have them crowded in prison cells that they'll just bust out again. Like, she literally, like, Dr. Director more or less just lays down the whole thing of, look, we're getting tired of a lot of us are getting tired of this whole breakout, capture them and break out over and over again. So what if we could just rehabilitate some that we can see has potential for rehabilitation, but also run missions for us? And Usagi's like, "You mean like a Suicide Squad?" And she's like, "Not necessarily. This is more for their benefit than ours. Also, they will be directly in contact with us, the US government. People will know about it. And you'll also be like, well known. Like, we don't want you to work in, like, Cloak and Dagger stuff. We want them to be part of we want them to be, like, open out in front team." So, like I said, it's more like Thunderbolts than, it's more Thunderbolts than Suicide Squad. And Sailor Moon's like, "I don't know where I fit in all this." And she goes, "We want you to lead it." And Usagi's like, "No, you don't. And she's like, "I can barely lead my own team. Like, what makes you think I can lead a bunch of supervillains to... How do you think I'm going to get a bunch of supervillains to work together?" And to which Dr. Director flat out says, like, "We think, and Usagi brings up the point, he's like, there's so many other better people that can, run this team. Like, there are better leaders. Like, Kim Possible, you like her so much, go have her. Or how about Steven Universe? He's said that, like, he sees the good in everybody." And to them, to Dr. Director, Dr. Director literally says, "Yeah, we looked at them and said no. Kim's too hard, Kim's too suspicious of these guys and would never cooperate with them. And Steven's too forgiving and willing to overlook them, so even if they do relapse, he's just gonna ignore it. He's just gonna pretend like, oh, there's still good in him, and still keep, and drone on and on about, like, second 8, 9, 10 chances, where if they do relapse, we're not going to notice it, and then it might be too late, and they might kill someone or someone on this team. So we thought of you because you know how to give them hope. You know how to see the good in them and you know, see the good in people and also see the potential in them. But at the same time, you also know when to cut the shit and would report back to us of who's doing well. So we picked you because that makes them. You make the most sense out of. You make the most sense out of everyone we thought of, because not only are you going to be a hard ass to these guys, you're also, you know, going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and that's what we need. So Dr. Director tells him, like, yeah, that's why we picked you. And Usagi thinks it over, is like, well, can I see who you picked? Like, can I see who you put together for this team? And she's like, yeah, come on, we've got them locked up. So, so Sailor Moon gets introduced to the candidates. And the first one is Black Cuervo, aka Zoe Aves, who's locked up. So that was one. Jack Spicer from Shaolin Showdown. That's another candidate they picked. They also picked up Skybite, the Decepticon shark that's also a poet. So that's, you know, there's Skybite. They also have who else did I have on this team? I should have wrote it down. Shit. They also picked up Fuzzy Lumpkin. So Fuzzy Lumpkin was another one. They also had they also picked up they picked up Angel Dust too, because he was trying to solicit sex from government agents. So that, and then they realized he's a demon, so let's get him in this project. And finally, the last member of this group is Toffee, and Toffee's in the back, just kind of like brooding in the back, and they're like, where'd he come from? He's like, well, found him trying to take over an entire nation, but he seems open enough, and you need a second in command. So, yeah. So Usagi's still tentative about this whole deal, but she's like, yeah, I will give it a shot. Like, I will try to rehabilitate these guys in missions. So, yeah. So Usagi's like, the caveat is, I don't do this secret. I don't do this behind my team's back. You know, I'm gonna go and talk to them first. So Usagi that night later goes to meet with the rest of the other Sailor Guardians. She tells them straight up, look, they tapped me for a project to lead a team of villains. And of course everyone's like, are you serious? You want to work with a band of supervillains? That's what you want to do? That's what they want you to do? They want you to work with fucking supervillains? People that could kill you and would want to kill you? And she's like, yeah, but they're doing it for their rehabilitation, and they want me to help, like, set them on the right path. And if they fail, then I'll just put them right back. And Mars is like, do you hear yourself right now, Bunhead? Because I don't think you do. This is they're asking you to be the leader of a team of psychopaths who are, some of them are fucking war criminals. Yeah, some of them are fucking war criminals. What are you doing? Like, this is the worst idea you've had. However, Usagi is like, look, if I don't give them the chance, then no one is. Like, that they need this. Like, these guys, you know, maybe some of them won't change. Maybe some of them will never change. But even if one member of this group has the ability to change, then I need to give them the benefit of the doubt and let them, you know, find a way to be, you know, heroes, or at the very least stay out of fucking prison. So Sailor Moon is like, look, and then they also bring up, you're gonna double duty leading us and this team of villains, and she's like, yeah, I can do that. And they're like, no, you can barely multitask as it is, Usagi. So Sailor Moon has to, like, for a little bit, just for the time being, has to, like, concede leadership to one of the other team members, and the team member she picks is Minako. She picks Minako to lead into Sailor Venus as like the leader, temporary leader of this team of the Sailor Senshi, while she's off, rehabilitating these villains. So, yeah. So it ends. So if this does well, if this video does well, I'll do I want to do this as like a trilogy. So yeah. So if this video does well, I'll probably do more. But you guys tell me in the comments below. What do you guys think of the Sailor Strike Force? Do you guys like it? Hate it? Comment below. Let me know. Once again, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.